I'm Paul. He's Jay. Welcome to Double Play CLE. And Jay, is it over?
Is what over?
The Cavs season. Down 3-1. You get home game on Wednesday, but the Cavs did not look good either game in Madison Square Garden. Is the series over? Is the season over for our Cleveland
Yeah, I
Cavaliers?
thought it was over. I thought it was over game 3 because we're going into game 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was over after game 3, and then definitely after today. It's a little sore. I don't even really want to talk about it. They didn't even look like they wanted to play it.
What was up with Donovan Mitchell?
It's not even just Donovan Mitchell. It's everyone on the team. Donovan Mitchell played like butthole. We couldn't rebound to save our lives. We got out rebounded. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the number 1 defense in the league, 2 7-footers. I don't know. Did Darius Garland even play well? Because he played terrible in game 3. So, it's just too inconsistent. Do I regret the trade? Probably not. But
I was actually going to go to that. Number 1, would you have made the trade? And number 2, would Kevin Love have actually benefited this Cavaliers team?
Yes and no. I have a lot of love for Kevin Love, being a Cavalier fan, 2016. But I think more importantly probably would have been his playoff experience. Because even our coach, what's his name? JB, does he have
Bickerstaff.
Does he have anything playoff, any championships, not anything I know of. So I mean,
real quickly,
even if it was good.
Real quickly on your rebound point, Karis LeVert led the team with 9 rebounds. Jarrett Allen had 4.
Jarrett Allen had 4 rebounds. See, that's terrible.
40 minutes of play, 4 rebounds. So he averaged a rebound every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes.
Like clockwork.
That's like his whole job.
That pretty
much tells the story. That tells the story in itself right there.
Garland, by the way, had 23 points, 2 rebounds, 10 assists. So a nice double-double for DG. Donovan Mitchell, 11 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 42 minutes on the floor. He was actually the player that was on the floor the most for the Cavaliers and did basically the least.
What was his shooting?
Shoot.
What for what? Because, I mean, if you went 5 or 6, then cool. Although I'm assuming that's not what it is. So
I'm assuming he did not, but let me try to pull that up real quickly here. Let's just dive right in here because it's.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't get 18. When you don't. Yeah, that's not good.
5 for 18.
What was this 3?
Jesus.
When you got the number 1 defense in the league, but it's not showing up, and you can't rebound the ball, and you're not a huge scoring team, you're not going to win the game. I don't know what else to tell you. We don't have huge scoring threats. Our biggest scoring threat is, Paul just pointed out, went 5 for 18 with 11 points. I would consider Donovan Mitchell our biggest scoring threat. I would and I wouldn't. I would give it off between him and DG, but I mean DG is super inconsistent. Which I mean, at the end of the day, Donovan Mitchell is too. I said this. I posted a thing on Facebook earlier. I said this back in January and February that we weren't going to do nothing in the playoffs. Anytime we played any team that mattered, we got our asses whooped. We would play the Celtics, we lost. We would play the 76ers, we lost. We'd play the Grizzlies, we lost. Like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be people like, oh, we beat the Grizzlies. I know we beat the Grizzlies, but we also lost to the Grizzlies. And, like, these were games at the end of the season when big-time players were resting. The Grizzlies were already in the playoffs.
They should have been easier games to win.
But yes, for sure. Definitely the Celtics.
Donovan Mitchell was 0 for 4 from three-point land. Actually, Darius Garland had our highest percentage from behind the arc, 50%, but only took 4 shots from three-point land. So that's kind of rough.
He was 4 for 8 from 3?
2 for 4. 2 for 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And Karis LeVert, 2 for 6. Isaac Okoro, 1 for 5. It doesn't look
2
like...
2 for 4 is not bad, but it sounds like he should have been taking more shots.
And Garland made all 3 of his free throws. So Darius Garland really picked up the slack from who we thought was going to be the guy that was going to take us to that next level in Donovan Mitchell. And I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell isn't still the guy, but man, if you are the guy that we've traded for, that we're putting our eggs in the basket for, you got to step up.
Unfortunately, I think picking up the slack, it wasn't even good enough. 23 points isn't good enough. No, 11 points isn't good enough. I don't know what to say. The series is over. We might win game 5. We might win game 6. No, we won't win game 6.
Immediately put back on that.
Does it go?
It's a 1-1-1 the rest of the way. So
yeah,
Cleveland, New York.
So we won't win game 6.
No, not if you can't put up more than 79 points in game 3 against the Knicks, which is the lowest point total for any team this season, postseason or regular season. That to me was a telling factor. That was a scary moment where I went, okay, we're doomed, because you can't put yourself behind the 8 ball against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden with the weight of the world and all eyes watching you. You have to bring it. And they look, at least the 2 games that I've seen at Madison Square Garden, they look like a completely different team.
I don't got much more to say about it. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about any Cleveland team right now.
And that's our show. Have a good night, guys.
It's a rough. That's a rough one.
It is.
I mean,
so, I know you're watching other playoff games. Who is your other team in the postseason? Who's your other NBA playoff team that you're kind of like, okay, I want to see them do well?
Well, it's all fun. There's not really any team that you don't want to do well. They're all young stars. I'm trying to think. There's not really. With Giannis, he has a championship. LeBron and AD, they have championship. Who else is in there? KD in the Warriors. The Warriors won today. They even at 2-2. Not a big fan of that.
Sacramento,
but Sacramento, that could easily be a 7-game series.
They are tied 2-2 heading into game 5. I want to see Sacramento wipe Golden State out, and then Golden State fans just have to sit there for the rest of the season. Cavs fans are already going to be in the same boat. I kind of want Golden State to be there with us.
Yeah, well, Sacramento needed to take one. I, in my opinion, one of the ones at Golden State. Then all they needed to do was win the one at home, and it was over with. So they won by 1 point today.
Golden State did 126-125.
Yeah. So that sucks. Obviously, followed my boy LeBron. So I'm a Lakers fan. They're up 2-1 on the Grizzlies, which is great because they're dumb. And they decided to talk shit to LeBron, and we all know how that goes. So, I mean.
By the way, game 5 between the Warriors and the Kings in Sacramento this Wednesday night at 10 p.m.
I know the Hawks and the Celtics game that's going on right now. It looks like the Celtics should win. Denver should sweep. The only two teams that I felt like, well, I feel like the Celtics should have swept too, but they didn't. So, Philly, Boston, and who's
It
the other
does seem
team?
like Denver's got Minnesota and
Oh,
is just wiping the
Denver.
floor with
Yes,
them.
that was Jamal Murray's been popping off, which is one of my. I love Jamal Murray, hard worker, good player. Joker obviously doing his thing, so they'll win this last game. I don't see a different outcome. And then
So-
Denver will move on along with Philly. So I believe Boston should move on too. I do think the Lakers will wrap it up. I mean, up 2-1. The team's not looking they can do like much without Ja Morant. It's weird they won the game without Ja Morant, but then this last game they lost. The only reason it was close at all was because Ja Morant had 45 points. So we'll see
if
what
you
happens.
and I know this is a rough thing to ask somebody right at the moment, but if you had to pick the NBA Finals right now, who are the two teams you think are going to make it to the finals?
That's rough. I'd have to go look at the bracket again. I'd probably say Boston and Denver. Just thinking off the top of my head, like who's the best? They're not in the same. Are they? They're not in the same thing, are they?
No, and Denver does seem like a sure fit. They're
Boston's
up
East,
3-0.
Denver's West. Yeah.
Boston is about to make it 3-1 on Atlanta heading into game 5. So it doesn't sound like you're a fan of Sacramento, and there are a lot of Cavs fans who are kind of on that Sacramento bandwagon, a team that kind of got left for dead, forgotten, and has risen from the ashes. Almost sounds.
they're a
bit
good
familiar.
team for sure, but they're a young team. They won't. I don't think they'll make it to the finals. I mean, I don't want to say if they were going to, they should have swept the Warriors. But losing 2 games back to back to them is definitely rough. Especially when Draymond Green didn't play one of those games. Gotta win playoff games on the road.
While I agree with
at
you,
least if
keep
you
in
want
mind
an
they do
advantage.
have home field. They do have home court advantage, so they still have 2 more potential home games.
I know, but that's also saying that you keep that all the way through the finals.
Yeah, the next round is going to be rough if that's the case.
So, and they're in what, the West? So they
Yeah.
got to go through Denver, and
Yes.
they won't beat Denver. There's no way. So, there's there's no way. Because De'Aaron Fox is a really good player. I mean, but other than him, they have who do they have?
Right now, it's going to be the winner
They
of
have
the Suns
Sabonis.
Clippers. Whoever
Yeah,
comes out
hello.
of that.
And then we're completely forgetting about the Suns too. I forget about them too. Are they in
They're
the
up
West
3-1.
or are they in the East?
They are currently slated to face the winner of the Nuggets and Timberwolves in the conference semifinals. Kings Warriors will head to the winner of Grizzlies Lakers. So that's going to be a rough go for. Do you think the Suns could be a factor against?
We get Suns Nuggets next round. Boy, that's going to be fire. That is going to be a fire series. The Suns might win that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I forgot about the Suns.
Right now, the Cavaliers.
I think the Suns are stronger than Denver. What?
Do you think that the West Coast gets an unfair disadvantage simply because they're on the West Coast? So a lot of the average fan is not watching these 10 o'clock late night games on the East Coast.
I feel like the average fan is definitely watching these games. Who doesn't watch them?
I mean, you just said it yourself. You forgot the Suns were even in it. Let alone.
Well, I just forgot. I forgot about all the teams. I've definitely watched them. I've definitely watched how they've been playing too. I've watched Devin Booker he's like what, the third player to score so many points in like his first in the first 3 games or something like that. Yada 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 yada. I don't know.
And
I'm
don't
not
look
a big fan of
now.
the Suns because they took KD. If they wouldn't have ever taken KD, I would be rooting for the Suns through and through because I really like Chris Paul. I think he deserves a ring. I like Booker. I think Booker's underrated. So with Ayton, although Ayton's back under the radar again because he doesn't have to score 20 points a game. So
One thing that I think is flying under the radar here, Philadelphia is already advanced. They swept through Brooklyn 4-0. They're just awaiting their next
yeah,
opponent.
yeah, but that who did they play?
They played Brooklyn.
The Nets. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. There's your first thing. Second thing is Joel Embiid, did he play the game 4? Or was that the game he didn't play? Because he hurt his back. And that's huge because he is their whole team.
He
He
was
is
actually
their
the
whole
series
entire
leader for
team.
Philadelphia in terms of points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game.
I would like to reiterate, he is their whole team. Joel Embiid is an absolute monster. That dude is a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, power forward, and a center all at once. So
And yes, Embiid was out for game 4.
yeah.
However, it is
However, they
only a
still won.
sprint,
I understand it's only a sprint.
sprain.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they say. But we'll see. I don't mind Philadelphia. I really don't. As if anyone who knows me knows, I like Philadelphia teams, so I do not mind the 76ers. Um, I don't really like James Harden. Uh, I don't know why. I think he's a little whiny. And he jumps teams a lot. So I mean, it's whatever. But I
That's
think he's I think
great.
he's been pretty quiet on Philadelphia. He hasn't been whiny. I think he's just been playing his role, and that's not as the number one superstar, which I think has been Harden's problem a lot of times on these other teams.
Hmm.
So, and they did still win game 4. I'm assuming mostly on his back. I don't really know. So anyone wants to shred me up, I'm sorry. They do have Maxey, who's also pretty decent, and yeah, there's someone else I can't remember that they have that's pretty decent. But back to Harden, I don't know. He doesn't have a ring either, though, so I wouldn't mind any player that doesn't have a championship that I don't hate. I don't mind watching them win one, because it's cool.
Who's your number
Um,
one hated NBA player?
Me or overall?
No, you. Like, who is your number one? You're
Me,
the guy that you're
Draymond
just like,
Green.
okay.
Draymond Green. He always
Just
has been.
I'm just making sure, you know, kind of my job
I
here.
hate that dude.
We all do. He can go suck it.
Other than him, I don't think I really have anyone I hate. I used to feel the same way that I feel about Harden, about Westbrook, but I think he is also shut up and went into his role. And I think especially with the Clippers, he's been on fire. Like he's perfect over there. And it works for him. So
Though the Clippers are one game away from elimination in the Western
they're one game
Conference.
away from elimination because they haven't had their 1 and 2 for the whole entire series.
I'm
Or
just pointing out facts here.
they haven't had their 2 for the whole entire series, and they haven't had their 1 for the last 2 games. So I don't know. That's bogus too because I like the Clippers. I've always liked Paul George. I've always liked Paul George, but he's always been ass, and that pisses me off. He's one of those players. He's like I always like those players that they're like right on the edge. It's the same thing with Carmelo. And when I mean right on the edge, I mean of like winning a championship. Like obviously Carmelo Anthony is a great player. Paul George is well, I don't know. A lot of people would argue Paul George. He's not the greatest player, but I've always liked him. I like Kawhi Leonard, even though a lot of people don't like him either because they feel like he gives up, i.e., this series. Um, So, and then, like I said, I've actually grown to start liking Russ a little bit more. So it sucks that they're definitely going to lose this series. A, because Paul George isn't playing. B, because Kawhi dropped 38 in the first game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, so he was definitely doing his job. And then they lost game 2 fair and square because Kawhi was playing, but again, Paul George still isn't. So, I mean, that sucks.
Last word on the NBA before we shift to the Guardians.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think got everything.
Oh,
Go Lakers. Yeah, the Cavs won't win.
wow.
We might again. We might win that. It's a 5% chance. We won't win.
If we do win, I feel like you should do something like maybe, I don't know, shave the beard,
No. If
the
we win,
mustache.
I'll be happy. How about that?
He's going to be so happy next week when
Cleveland
he comes on.
basketball. Cleveland basketball over the last 2 years has played in 6 playoff games, if you
Mhm.
include the playing games.
Which they don't actually.
4 of them were at home. We've won 1.
And this is a team that was a home court advantage kind of team. They played great at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and they've just, for whatever reason, struggled when it comes to the lights being on the brightest. And you almost wonder if that's just the inexperience of and youthfulness of the team.
6 games, 4 at home, 1 win.
So I know you're not feeling great about the Guardians, understandably so. They are 4-6 in their last 10 coming into as of this recording.
The Guardians suck as well.
However, the Guardians
Why
are
does
at
everything I
500.
love suck?
The Guardians are at 500, and they're 1 game behind Minnesota for
I
the
don't want to
division
talk about the
lead.
Guardians either, damn it.
I don't have anything else to talk about. We are in Cleveland. It's in our damn name. We're double play CLE, not double play
When does Tristan
NY.
McKenzie come back?
Sometime in June.
June?
May or June, but it looks like they're going to push him back to June.
June? He said his arm feels great. Let him fucking throw the ball.
Well,
Let him
there
throw
it
like
goes.
let him go. Let him throw like 2 innings. Good thing it's edited. Just put the dolphin noise over me.
I wish we could, actually. That'd be awesome. But apparently that's trademarked by Nickelodeon Viacom.
People do it all the time.
I know.
You just
and they
don't
have
use
to pay
that
the rights.
specific one. You just use a different one.
We're allowed to say the word anyways. This is sponsored by the various individuals and organizations that we
Well,
see
I
around our
want it.
heads.
I want it edited over. Just make it a Pop-Tart noise.
Don't have time for that shit.
Just make it
Okay.
say Pop-Tart.
Okay. So the Guardians had a rough 10-game stretch, including dropping a doubleheader to the Miami Marlins, who didn't even have the reigning NL Cy Young winner, Sandy Alcantara, pitching. He's going to pitch Wednesday against Atlanta, as far as
That's the crappy doubleheader we lost.
Yeah, we
That's
lost.
the doubleheader we lost.
Yeah, we lost
No, we lost the doubleheader in Detroit.
Well,
how do we lose a doubleheader to Detroit? I do care about losing any doubleheader, but I would much rather. I don't know how to put this. You guys know where I'm coming from. Detroit is way worse of an opponent to drop 2 games to. Nonetheless, wasn't one like a 3-2 game or like a 1-0 game or something like that? One of them was small.
Let me see here. Yeah, 1-0 was game 2, 4-3 game 1. In fact, game 1 was the walk-off. What was that? Kerry Carpenter, I believe it was.
Yeah, I'm over Plesac. I'm done with him. We can get rid of him. I'm done. I've given up. I cannot sit here. I don't know. I don't want to be like a non, or people call me a halfway fan, but I'm just not about to look at the Guardians until July. Cause what the hell is going on here? This is so stressful. And when we do win, I have to sit here with my nuts in my stomach for an extra 3 innings, longer than the game should be. Like, I can't. And then these aren't game, but it's true. That's the worst part about that is that it's true, and like I hate that feeling. And it's games against. I'm trying to think of who were the like first couple games.
I will point out, Plesac is 1-1 with a 6.5 ERA. 4 games started, 18 innings of work. He's got 13 Ks.
6.5. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's not great.
Terrible.
Granted, if
he's 1-1 though, I'm surprised he has that one win. I know exactly which win that is too because we were talking about it. Oh, what game was that? I know. I remember that because I was like, screw please. That was the game I gave up on him. I was like, I don't want him on my effing team anymore. And you responded with, and please that gets the win. I remember that game. but it wasn't please.
It does sound like
who was that?
Oh my God.
I can't remember the opponent, but he had given up the lead in the very first inning, and then we went back and went up by a run. And they went back up to bat.
I believe.
They went back up to bat, and he literally gave up like two doubles in a row, and all of a sudden we were losing again. And I was like, I can't do this. Goldfish.
In that game, Plesac went 5 innings, gave up 2 earned, 4 total on 7 hits with 1 strikeout.
One strikeout?
Yeah.
That is. I don't care what type of pitcher. I don't care if you're a ground ball pitcher or ground out pitcher or that bullshit. You still are going to have 3-4 strikeouts. Like that's terrible. If you're a good pitcher, if you're a high caliber pitcher, is what I'm saying.
In Plesac's last start against Miami, which was game 2 of the doubleheader, it looks like, went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned on 10 hits with 2 walks and 5 Ks.
Like 10 hits?
10 hits.
Jesus, Jiminy Cricket. You must have just had some good defense behind him. Like, they only get 3 runs off of 10 hits. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
God bless it. And I want to love this dude so bad. So damn bad. But I can't continue to cheer for mediocrity. Ask Baker Mayfield. We can't do it anymore. We can't. Tired of losing all the time.
So
and this is the type of stuff. This is the type of stuff where we're talking about. You can go back to the Cavs as well. You could take this right back to the Cavs as well. During the regular season, I don't even want to watch these damn games because then people talk about, well, at least we did this. Well, at least we did that. That won't work in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, that is what we're here for. That will not produce wins in the playoffs. And you don't get. Go ahead.
Well, there are a number of individuals here at Believe Land Media that picked the Guardians to make it to the World Series this year. This team doesn't look like it's going to make it to the postseason this year. You got to straighten up the fly, right?
Last year, I don't know. This isn't what anyone thought last year either, though. So that's another reason why I just kind of want to cool my jets and just say, well, maybe I just won't freaking watch them until like July or the games that I go to personally, because like, it's rough. I still believe in this team. We can obviously still win, and I do believe right now that we still could win in a postseason situation. But just as you pointed out, we still have to freaking get there, and I don't want to get there on the wild card. We do not do well coming out of wild card situations. Like if you would have taken us last year and put us in Tampa Bay. You think we would have won?
Nope, not even close. I really genuinely believe that the home field advantage is what secured that series for the Guardians. If they hadn't had home field, I don't think they were going to win that series. Another name that is being mentioned as a potential, I don't know, let's call him a liability. Your boy Josh Naylor. Batting $161, 10 hits, 2 home runs, 9 RBI, and an on-base percentage of 239. He is struggling. And Tito Francona did move him down in the batting order to help him. That does seem to have helped a little bit, at least in this series. He's had a bit of a bounce back. In fact,
Yeah,
the Sunday
four
game,
definitely
he was
wasn't
facing,
right for him.
well, in the Sunday game, he was facing lefty Jesus Luzardo of Miami, and he went 2 for 2 against him. So that's a huge step in the right direction. It seems like there's something missing for Josh Naylor. The Josh Naylor of last year that was high charisma, high energy, doesn't seem to be the same guy that's playing this year. How do we get that guy back?
And I know I'm the first one to say that there's a timeline on this statement, but it's still early. I don't think, you said the same thing about Josh Bell until he went through what was it, the Nationals or whatever team it was that he went like 5 for 7. He went off. What was it? Was it the Nationals? Something like that. Because at the same time, I don't want anyone peaking right now. I don't want any one of my players peaking right now. Do you? Like,
Peaking, no, but I do want them to play better than they're playing now. I mean, 500 ball is great, but you got to be better than 500 in order to make the playoffs.
Maybe he needs to practice more. I don't know what to say on that. Maybe he needs to go bat more. Like I can't tell you what his problem is. Maybe he needs to go down to AAA for a little bit. Trade him for his brother so we can have 6 catchers on the team. Hell, we'll just make a whole team of catchers. They can just play every position.
I mean, they're tremendously capable of catching the ball no matter where you put them. Josh Bell, by the way,
no, they're not. No, they're not. I don't know if you've seen pitcher Mike Zunino, but the dude can't literally catch anything, and that's his whole entire flipping job.
I tried to warn you that Zunino was going to be one you were going to hate, but you didn't believe me.
No, that's not what you tried to warn me. You tried to warn me that I would hate Zunino because he would be good defensively and a bad bat, which would just make me used to what I've always been used to for the last 3-4 years with my Cleveland catchers. Well, let me not say that because that dates back to Perez, and Perez was a god. But no, he hasn't been good defensively. You can't swing like shit and not be good defensively. I would say he swings better than Hedges. He's a better bat than Hedges, but he is not nearly as good defensively as Hedges was for us.
Zunino is batting .275. He has 1 home run, 11 hits in 40 at-bats, 4 RBIs with an on-base percentage of .431.
Yeah, see, that's what I would that's what I expect out of a catcher. I don't expect people like, in a year or two ago, before I was really watching baseball every single day and really paying attention to other teams and whatnot, maybe I would have thought differently. But now I don't necessarily expect catchers to be knocking. There are catchers who can, i.e., Roberto God Perez.
But those are those
are 1 in a million. Those are your diamond in the rough catchers. You don't really. It's almost like a Shohei Ohtani because it's pretty hard to be up and down and be a catcher, which is a very unique position in baseball, and also have very sharp bat skills, in my opinion. So I don't give a shit if you're not knocking home runs every at bat. I'm gonna be mad when you're like just. What am I trying to say? I'm going to be mad when you're just not batting good in general. I don't need you to knock home runs. Just get on base. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But like when you're dropping wild pitches, that is what I'm paying you to do. That is going to piss me off. When we're losing games and letting runs come across because of that shit, that is that is going to get off my team. That is, who's the other dude we got? Who's the other catchers we have?
Cam Gallagher.
I thought we had 3.
We do, but I can't remember the third one. Actually, what I was going to get to here is I have Zunino's fielding numbers. He has.
Oh yeah, and he hasn't caught no one out yet either. Stealing.
No,
Ass, 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 ass.
He has
When?
3 for 12 on stolen bases. He has a 20% caught stealing percentage, which is not good. 11 wild pitches and 1 pass ball. However, no errors and a fielding percentage of 1,000. So there is hope.
He's gotten 3 people out.
Yes, that's it.
They had to have been like literally last week or 2 or something like that. They were just talking about how the dude hasn't thrown anyone out. Like not terribly too long ago. Don't look that up because I'm probably wrong. But
I'm curious.
They had to have been somewhat recent.
Actually, one of them was against Miami in the doubleheader.
Well, because that was one of the
Miami, Detroit, and Seattle are the 3 teams that he's had 1 caught stealing against. However, he gave up 2 stolen bases in the same game to Detroit. Yeah, way back on April 2nd in Seattle, he had a caught stealing. He also had 3 wild pitches.
Yeah, I want to know how many stats are that, how many games he's blown, because I definitely know we lost 1 game because of that.
In fact, he's had 6 wild pitches in the first 3 games of the season, against Seattle. Kind of settled down after that, though. He's had a couple of wild pitches, but no more than 1 at a time.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about, or what's making me mad, because I do know I definitely paid attention to those first 3 games, and now I know someone who may be a catcher fanatic, like myself, to say too, because the catcher position is one of my favorite positions in baseball. That like the pitching in general. Anyway, though, I know someone might be saying on the other side of it too is, well, maybe if the pitcher would pitch better. Yes and no, because I feel like wild pitches are part of trying to screw up the batter. So the definition of a wild pitch can be a wild pitch that the pitcher effed up, that he just meant to put here and he put it over there. A wild pitch could also just be, by definition, just like a really low curveball that just goes into the dirt. So, it goes both ways, but fine. Paulie gives me some numbers, and maybe I'll give Zunino another chance.
Yay! Mike Zunino gets to live to fight another day.
I guess I'm used to what I would consider all-star catchers is what I'm used to in Cleveland. Out of all the things we've ever flipping had, we've had a good ace and we've had a good catcher for the longest time, at the very least. So, or at least a good one too, really, I would say. And we've always had decent relief. So I don't want to see the catchers start effing up everything else. So I even consider Yan Gomes to be at least definitely when he played for us. Not when he gave up the perfect game the other day.
Ruining perfect games. What a horrible man he's turned out to be. The injury bug seems to have bit the Guardians hard this season. It's been something that was discussed last season, is that for the most part, the injuries weren't that bad. This year, they are. You've got Tristan McKenzie, who was slated to be your number 2, has been out since the start of the season. Apparently, he began a throwing program Friday. That means that he's looking more towards the end of May than June, so that's a promising opportunity for us. However, pitching prospect Daniel Espino has been shut down from throwing, and he's going to go talk to a doctor. A lot of people who are big fans of the prospects have looked at Espino as one of those guys to watch to potentially break through in 2023, and it's starting to look like he might not have a 2023. Sam Henches is on rehab assignment with the Akron Rubber Ducks. Looked pretty good in his outing with them.
Love to see Henches back.
Everybody would. And then you've got Aaron Savale, who's on the 15-day DL with the left oblique. It just seems like we got hit early and we didn't have time to recover as well. We've got Peyton Battenfield, who's going to be making seems like a spot start on Tuesday against Colorado.
Give me Eli Morgan.
That was actually where I was going to go next. Who do you think is that guy or girl that can fix the team?
Fix what?
We're floating along at 500. We need to get above the Twins, and we need to get there quickly. Because once Minnesota gets hot, and it seems like they're not right now, they're 4-6 in their last 10 as well.
I think we're good. I think we need to batten down the hatches. Get back to fundamentals. It's little things I was just talking about with wild pitches, little things with within the pitchers themselves. I think we need to throw more strikes. I think we need to throw less. Are we? Because we're not getting homered on, are we?
Not
I know.
really,
I know
no.
that. I was just gonna say. I know we're giving up home runs, but we're not getting homered on. We're getting Cleveland balled. We're getting small balled. It's really what's happening.
19 home runs surrendered so far. That puts us 6th in the American League out of 15 teams. So that's right around the middle of the pack. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Here's a name I'm going to throw at you. James Karinchak. 0-3 with a 4.9 ERA. When are we just going to say enough with this kid? 11 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned.
How many games
3
has he
home
played?
runs. Let's see.
How many games has he played? They need to fix this win-loss thing for pitchers. Yeah, that's my point. They need to fix this whole thing, this whole win-loss thing for pitchers. You want to throw out he's 0-3. He's played 12 games. He's a relief pitcher. He doesn't get wins. He doesn't get wins put in his column. Like I don't want to like what about him?
He seems to be struggling with the pitch clock. He seems to be struggling with control. And if I say the phrase he seems to be struggling anymore, I'm going to snap because this is clearly a problem. He needs to go. So
you've played a game. You've played a game the same way for 30 years of your life, and you give this mofo 12 games, and you go, you're not adjusting to how quick they want you to throw now. The dude has still. He's. I'm sorry. He's what? He's 9-3. Is what's his ERA?
He's 0-3 with a 4.9 ERA.
He's 9-3 with a what?
0-3. 0. As in can't buy a win.
He's 9-3 with
he
what?
He hasn't gotten a win.
Okay, so let me put this. You want me to spell it out for you? It's
I get what you're trying to say, but that doesn't necessarily.
No, you want me to spell it out for you. You want me to spell it out for you because you corrected me twice. So he's 0-3 and he's played 12 games. So those other 9 games, what? He's not 0-12, is he?
7-5 is the Guardians' record with Karinchak in a game.
So he has a winning record above 500,
which is above
the team record.
Yes, that is true.
So all that does is play into the point that you can't blame him. It's not his freaking problem. It's not his fault he gets put into positions. And you know what I'll give you is that Karinchak, you want me to complain about my testicles being inside my stomach. Yeah, he sure does love to put himself in those positions. And then, but every time he puts himself in those positions, he gets himself out. Was that me or was that you? That was loud. I feel like that was you.
It might have been me. I'm baffled by the fact that you want this guy still to be up here when he's clearly having trouble. And
every time
Columbus could fix this problem.
Every time I'm watching Karinchak, he's striking 3 dudes out. Every time I'm watching Karinchak, we put him in when we're up by 1 run, and he strikes out 2 dudes. How many strikeouts does he have?
He has 16.
He has 16 strikeouts in 12 games.
Yeah.
That's not as a relief pitcher, that's over a strikeout a game. That's incredible. As someone that faces 3 batters a game, and you strike out one of them within inning 7, 8, or 9, and assuming, and we know this is the true fact, but it is all assumption, is that you only put him in when we're up.
Like, he is the 8th inning setup guy.
Yeah, when we're within a run or two,
correct. And that's why I'm concerned that over his last 3 appearances, he's given up 2 home runs, both to Detroit. You can't be giving up games to division opponents. That is one of the tiebreakers that determines whether or not you make it to the playoffs.
You're right, but no one's perfect. No, you're always going to give up runs. That's the thing. You can't talk about the fact that he's given up home run. You can't, because every pitcher gives up. It's the game. You're gonna give up runs. It's gonna happen. Shane Bieber's gonna give up home runs and get smacked 6-0 one of these games. It's gonna happen. Tristan McKenzie gives up home runs. That's his biggest flipping thing about him. Pisses me off. Dude goes 4 innings scorching dudes, and then goes in the 5th inning and gives up 3 or 4 home runs. It happens. You don't love it, but it's the game, right? I don't think what I don't think is you get rid of, if you get rid of him, you said you set him back down to Columbus. Who do we fill into that spot that's better?
That's a fair question.
The only other pitchers that I really like and this is all opinion based, because that's really what baseball is. It's all opinion based. That isn't Emmanuel Clase, because he's obviously A, your closer, and B, your best relief pitcher. But it's Eli Morgan and is it Angel? Is that how you say his name? Is it Yel? I don't.
De Los Santos is who you're talking about. Let's not.
De Los Santos. I like him. I think how old is he?
De Los Santos.
You don't have to give me is he old or is he young? Because if he's young and we can develop him, that dude could be a monster.
He's a little bit older. He actually pitched 2 years in Philadelphia. 3 years in Philadelphia, then ended up in Pittsburgh before coming to Cleveland last season. So he's got 5 years under his belt here.
It's not terrible, but
no. But I'm trying to catch it because I'm on the right website to tell me this crap.
For what?
His actual age.
Oh, he's probably 26, 27, 28. And the dude's big too. That's the other thing about him is how I don't know how fast he throws. I know it's nothing
he's 27 years old.
See, what did I say? I know he doesn't throw anything incredible. He definitely doesn't throw triple digits. Otherwise, I would know that, because they love oh my God, the dude throws 100 miles per hour. But the dude's big. I don't know what his pitch sequence is either.
He's 6'3", 235 pounds.
He's 6'3" and he's only 230. That's slim, actually. The dude's bigger. Wow. He looks a lot bigger than that. He looks like he's 300 pounds, and not in a bad way. He's just a big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Can you say that again, please?
I thought I seen him at Dave & Buster's yesterday. So if that was you and I didn't get your autograph, I'm going to be pissed.
That might have been him.
I don't think it was him, though.
I think it was him.
What do you mean?
Just looking at everything, maybe not. No, he was in game 1 of the doubleheader, so you're fine.
He was in game 1?
Yeah,
I thought he was on paternity leave.
No, he was in game 1.
They said they placed him on paternity leave.
Went 2/3 of an inning and didn't really have anything terrible happen or good, just kind of existed. Got a double play out of it.
I don't think Karen Check's your number one enemy here. I think us overall is your enemy.
My enemy is the Cleveland Guardians.
No, but listen, I'm not gonna sit here and defend Karen Check completely, because he's Karen Check, and I feel like that's always who he has been. So it's nothing new.
And that
Like
was fine when he
he's
didn't have to
he's
worry
the
about a 20-second pitch clock, but he does
he's
now, and he's struggling with that.
he's the J.R. Smith of the Cleveland Guardians. And I'm okay with that. Because when the dude's on, he's flipping on. And if he doesn't what? And he, what if he okay, I just don't like I know you see the games. I
What if
know you
he's the
see the
reason we
games.
lose the World Series? Then are you going to be like, this is a problem? I would rather fix it now.
That's such a wild question.
I know it is,
Like
but this is one of those arms that you're going to
with
have to rely on in
who?
the postseason.
Who are you going to fix it with?
I
That's what
don't
I'm
have an
trying to.
answer to that. Maybe
I just
Tim Herron.
okay. Well then, like
Maybe De Los
I
Santos steps up into that setup role while you're fixing this problem. But my answer is the same. I want to fix it now than try to fix it in October.
mm,
Because you can't
I
fix it in
think
October. It just
I
is.
think Karinchak gets better in October. He
Well,
did last year.
It's cold now. He should be great. What the hell?
No, it's the beginning of the season. It's not about temperature.
It kind of is with the Guardians. They're traditionally a warmer team. Once the weather turns warm, they get red hot. For whatever reason, the team based in Northeast Ohio can't seem to hit when it's cold outside. So that leads me to my next question, though. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, obviously, what is your panic level for the Cleveland Guardians?
Probably about a 6.
Okay, I can work with that. That's
Um, yeah, probably about a 6. I'm stretching the it's early excuse a little bit longer.
how long is it's
I
early?
probably only got like the rest of this month. That's about it.
So once the pink hats come out for Mother's Day, you're going to be calling for somebody's head.
See, I'm not a calling for somebody's head guy. I'm not. And you know, I go back and forth on Tito. I love to hate Tito and I hate to love him. So, um, I don't know. I'm also I get very like emotionally involved with my team. So I don't want to see anybody out of a job. I don't want to see anybody like, this is your fault, you're fired. And then it's just like, God damn, like, I like that dude. That sucks. But like, at the end of the day, too, I've always been one of them that I'm just a fan. I'm not the upper management. That's what they get paid to do. I don't know. Ask them. And I'll just go along with the decision. It's all I can do anyway. So again, I don't think I'm going to be calling for anyone's head. If anything, and I think I've always been like this, it's the same thing with the Cavaliers right now. I'm not calling for anyone's head. A lot of people are calling for like a Coro and Allen to get traded and stuff like that. I'm not calling for anyone's head. I'm just calling for y'all to step it up. Go get in the gym right now. Go home. Like, dude, they just beat our ass. Let's go practice. Like, let me see that hustle. Let me see that grit. That would be the exact same thing I would say to Naylor. Because that's what Naylor is, hustle and grit. Where's that at? Where's that heart at? That's what I need to see out there. I don't want new players. That's how I always feel. I would just love for mine to just go off. I don't want to go trade for Mike Trout. I don't want to go trade for Ohtani. I mean, not saying that I don't. Like, I would let you know what I mean. But I'm just saying, like, if you could give me two options as a fortune teller or as a genie or as a god, and you said I could either A, give you I don't know, Luis Castillo, um I don't know, and Shohei Ohtani, or I could turn Jose Ramirez, Miles Straw, and Shane Bieber into the best players in baseball. Like, I don't want new people. Yeah, give me my people being the best players in baseball. That's what I want. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so, like, go get in the gym, practice some more. I don't really know what to say because, you know, at the same time, I'm not too in shape or I'm not going to the gym. I don't play it. I'm the first one to admit that. You talk about sports. How many championships do you have? I don't have any.
I
This
have
is
an
just my,
undisputed fantasy football championship. That's a whole nother thing.
I am a double play CLE 23-time champ. So,
Hey, I have a banner hanging on my wall. So just saying.
again, back to your question, to answer your question in my long ass roundabout way that I like to. I will not be calling for anyone's head. That's their job. I'm just a ride or die with the teams.
Fair enough. While we have a moment, we would like to send a shout out to our friends at the Guardians of the CLE podcast. They can dive even deeper into minor league baseball and all of that. And they are being given a great honor. They will be throwing out the first pitch at the Akron Rubber Ducks game on Wednesday, July the 19th. I believe it's against the Richmond Flying Squirrels at Canal Park. Tickets are available at the Rubber Ducks website and at the Canal Park box office. A lot of us from Believe Land Media LLC will be there as well.
Dude.
Very excited for it. Mel and Jamie, they're going to kill it. As long as they don't watch videotape of Travis Kelce, they should be perfectly fine.
I had my Rubber Ducks hat that I wanted to switch to when you mentioned that. I don't know where I put it.
But if you would like to,
you guys down.
if you would like to join us at the ballpark, we will all, as far as I know, most everybody on Believe Land Media's staff is going to be there to support our team and support Guardians of the CLE, who are going to throw the best first pitches in history. There, I said it, and I hope that somebody from Believe Land Media who's watching this clips that and saves it so that when it happens on July the 19th, we can be like, look at that. Nostradamus struck again.
I don't know where the heck I put that hat at.
You'll find it by July 19th.
I'll find it like as soon as we end the video.
You'll find it on July 20th. But again, shout out to them and congratulations. That is such a cool honor. And we couldn't be more proud of our friends at Guardians of the CLE.
Yeah, that's super cool. Definitely a little jelly about that. That's super, super cool stuff.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you, how would you feel if you had that same opportunity? Like, I thought about it and I'm like, man, my nerves would be too much.
I was just going to say, I almost might not do it because I'd be like, and like throw it off to the side or something like that. Like, at a Rubber Ducks game, and not that this is a slight to minor league crowds or anything like that. It's a lot less people, so I'd probably be able to like do it then. But like, at the same time, I don't understand how like did Travis Kelce do that on purpose?
I don't think so.
Like,
I think that was just one of those cases where it slipped out of his hand and went straight to the ground.
Slipped out of his hand?
Yeah,
like the size of a gorilla. What do you mean? Like,
it's a small ball in a big hand.
Okay,
it got lost
if you're gonna tell me that he was trying to like actually pitch it, like I'm trying to throw this as hard as I can, that gives you a lot more leeway to mess something up, right? Like,
yes.
So like I could give you that, but like that also didn't look like the case either. It didn't look like he was, but. And then I'm by no means, again, back to the nerves thing and all that. I'm by no means necessarily. I'm totally knocking him. Yes, I am. Like, well, what the hell was that, buddy? I mean, like I can't even like. I want to say I'm not, but I am. Like what the hell was that? You can tell I play. Well, he does play football. He is a. How many championships do I have? I don't have any. So
again, got a banner hanging on my wall.
That was funny.
On the baseball side of things, the major league side of things, as we have been with you now for the last hour here on Double Play CLE, Max Scherzer was suspended 10 games for having a sticky hand. Domingo Germán of the New York Yankees was asked to wash his hands. Now, Double Play CLE has an internal saying that we live by. It is kind of like the motto of Double Play CLE. Would you like to tell our viewers and listeners across the Believe Land Media LLC multiverse, what that motto is?
Let's go.
That wasn't the one I was expecting, but that's still pretty good. The other one
Oh, I don't know what you're referring to.
about
Yo,
the New
Paulie?
York, no, about the New York Yankees.
See, so you did want me to use the F word.
Yes, I
That
was giving you a free reign on that one.
that would be what is fuck the Yankees for
Correct.
200, Paul?
There you go. Why is Domingo Germán allowed to just wash his hands and come back into the game after they've said, "Hey, your hand's sticky"?
He's a Yankee. I didn't know who that was. Okay.
Max Scherzer, they go, "Your hand's still too sticky. You're out," and then you get suspended 10 games.
The only thing I have heard about so far that has made any relative sense to me is somebody who doesn't. I almost said a net. He's a Met, right?
Yeah.
Um. The Mets are just like the Suns to me. I like the Mets until they fucking did the whole Lindor thing, and after that, But it's not the Mets I hate. It's just Lindor. So,
Well, they also got Carrasco. They're just stealing past Cleveland greats.
what is who?
Carlos Carrasco. I'm sorry, it's before your time.
What did he do?
He was an above average pitcher, starting pitcher.
He starting pitcher?
Yeah. He was like our number 3, but he was really good. And he also had a bout with
Didn't he close?
No.
Didn't he close when we brought him back from? Isn't that the dude who got cancer or whatever?
I think so. I think he had cancer, yeah.
And didn't he come back and he closed for us for a little bit?
I think he just was a out of the bullpen guy at that point.
And isn't he 100-mile-per-hour pitcher?
Used to be, not anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, my whole point is he's ass now. Like, who even is he anymore? Like, so I mean, I don't really. That doesn't. Carrasco did kind of hurt a little bit before my time. Shut the fuck up. That did hurt like a little bit. I mean, you think I don't know? Like, you think I don't remember who Cookie is?
I wasn't sure.
Wasn't he on? He was on our 2016 roster.
Pretty sure, yeah. Doesn't make any
he
sense
definitely
anymore.
was. He was our third.
For those of you
what?
wondering, you have a shirt behind you, behind the Pop-Tart that actually has the entire roster from the 2016
Oh, yeah.
team.
Yeah. This looks like I'm just looking at a Pop-Tart. That's
It
right.
looked like you were staring off into space at the Pop-Tart.
Holy shit, I forget what we were driving at. Max Scherzer.
Yes.
Is the only thing that anyone has told me anything that's made any difference or sense to me is they said he had it on his glove.
Yes.
Not his hand, which are two different rules apparently. No.
Well, I want to read this quote to you from Max Scherzer because he initially appealed the suspension, but dropped his appeal a couple hours later. Quote,
on his kids and blah 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 blah.
No. Quote, I went through the appeal process, looked at what that appeal process was going to look like. I thought I was going to get in front of a neutral arbitrator, but I wasn't. It was going to be through MLB. Given that process, I wasn't going to come out on top. End quote.
Okay.
Why isn't the arbiter a neutral third party? MLB should have nothing to do with arbitration.
Because it's MLB's.
But they don't have that in any other situation.
I don't know. It's his league at the end of the day. He's gonna do whatever the hell he wants. You know what? These are these situations that, especially as I get older in life, it's almost like, dude, I don't even care. I don't even have energy for this because it's like, well, what am I gonna do about it anyway? It's his damn league. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And if we want to watch it and they want to play in it, we have to abide by whatever the hell they want to say, whether that's right or wrong. If you want to ask me if you think it's right, I wouldn't disagree with it being right if I truly felt like they were going to hear them out, if that makes sense. Like I'm not disagreeing with the fact that he said, "Hey, if you got a problem with it, you got to come talk to me." Not necessarily him, but someone of my company. But
That
the
would be the
problem with
MLB
that
Senior Vice President of On-Field Operations.
the problem with that being you wanted a neutral arbitrator because you feel like that person's not going to give you a fair shot, which I completely understand. So, at the same time, though, what is there to?
Well, there's an
When did
interesting tie
if he
into
was
all
going to get?
this.
Go ahead.
All three inspections that have led to suspensions since the
Yeah,
crackdown on sticky substances started
the
in June of
same
2021 was the same umpire, Phil Cuzzi. I would fire Phil Cuzzi because he's clearly too deep into this. You can't be the only
I
umpire who's responsible for this. What
I
the hell
think
are you
that's a
seeing on these gloves and on these pitchers' hands? You have to use rosin in order to get a grip on that baseball. I would rather the players have a sticky substance so that they're not drilling players in the head.
I think it's a little coincidental, personally.
And coincidence is twice. Coincidence is not a third time, and the only
So what?
three.
So a number one A is you don't know if these pitchers were right or wrong.
That's true.
Maybe he did have sticky crap on his glove. And what's he going to say, huh? If you get caught with sticky crap, what are you going to say? Oh, yeah, it's sticky crap. It's rosin and sweat. It's rosin and sweat. You're going to say that. I'm not saying yes or no because
Okay.
I don't really like Max Scherzer, but I do feel like I'm on his side. I do feel like I'm on his side with this.
Okay.
But like, you don't know. Maybe he really did. And like, of course you're gonna go to the media and said, no, I didn't. Oh, I tried the appeal trial and it just didn't seem like it was gonna go in my favor. So I didn't even try. Why not? You got 10 whole days off. Why not? Like, you can at least say you tried. Like, I don't know. Like that part seems a little I again agree with him about it not being a neutral party and so on and so forth. But I mean, the fact that you just said, nah, never mind, does raise an eyebrow to me. Just saying. But I don't know. I don't necessarily disagree with I don't see what the big problem is with letting them use sticky stuff in the first place is anyway. Who gives a damn? Let them use some pine resin.
At least make sure they can grip the baseball if they're trying to throw it 100 miles an hour.
That's what, and like you just said, I'd rather them have grip so in case it slips off and goes the wrong place, it doesn't drill you, Mr. Ump, in the head or someone else. Like,
and that's
so I mean,
that
like,
we've seen that has happened where the catcher wasn't able to get the glove up in time and it hits the umpire, or a deflection of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball gets drilled backwards and the umpire takes it in the face mask. Those are real problems in Major League Baseball.
Like, why not? You want to see spectacular stunts when you go to watch sports. You want to watch someone throw 100, 105. Holy shit. Like, if everyone's allowed to use it, it's not an unfair advantage. So I don't see why they don't let them use sticky crap. Now, like, I really don't. I really, 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 really don't. Because at the end of the day, there's only so sticky you can get before it's a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
I don't see why they don't just let them do it in the first. I really don't. But not my league.
It's worth noting that Domingo Germán was throwing a no-hitter at the time that his sticky.
When was this?
This happened, what was it, last week?
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, he was throwing a no-hitter.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I did hear about this, but go on.
And I almost wonder if the no-hitter is the reason why Domingo Germán was able to stay in the game.
Sorry, folks. I took a nap before this time, make sure I was nice and awake.
It's the Yankees. But as
you talk about why they didn't eject him, they also checked Max Scherzer like 4 times.
Yes, that is true.
So like that to me is a point in the umpire's direction of being correct. I've checked it once. I've checked it twice. Did he not bring any? He didn't bring anyone else with him?
No.
Because I know it's been, you said only 3 ejections and it's all been the
Yes.
same ump. And I know I've watched one of the other ones and he's brought other people in with him and they all look at it and then he ultimately says, yeah, this is what it is. So like while if I'm doing this check and I say, hey, does this look like this to you? And you go, yeah, I don't know, kind of. At one point, if it's not, one of those people in that circle is going to go, I don't know. I don't know. And then if the other ones go, yeah, and then that leads when one person puts their foot forward, if someone else feels like that, they're going to agree with them. They're going to be like, yeah, man, I don't know either. So you're telling me all 4 or 5 of these umps, only one of them was like, nah, man, that's sticky shit. I'm throwing them out. Like, all right, man, whatever you want to do, man. Like, go for it. Like, I just like, if this was my pitcher, no way he used sticky stuff. No way he did any of that. And I would be pissed as hell. And I would be that specifically needs to be canned and terminated. And he's a piece of crap. And he doesn't deserve kids or a wife. And you know,
That
but it's
escalated
not
quick.
but it's not my pitcher. So it's easier to look at it unbiasedly. And at the end of the day, the real crappy part about this talk is that I see both sides. So I don't know.
Well, we are, of course, on the F the Yankees train,
Make
right?
sure. Mm-hmm.
Your boy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. made headlines when he said, quote, not even when I'm dead, with regards to signing with the New York Yankees, calling it a personal thing. It goes back with my family. That's my decision, and I will never change that. So here's where that personal thing might be. In January of 2004, Vladimir Guerrero's father, Vlad Sr., had a contract agreement with the Yankees general manager, Brian Cashman. The owner, George Steinbrenner, went over Cashman's head and signed Gary Sheffield instead of Vlad Sr. Vlad would then have to be backed out of the deal. Cashman would have to say, no, we're going to take that deal off the table. Vlad won the AL MVP that year. Sheffield finished second. It sounds like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Vladimir Guerrero family has a, whether fair or not, axe to grind with the Yankees, and I'm all here for it.
I see that story piqued your interest.
I love young players who say screw it and get to be themselves and say, I don't want to play for the stupid team that everybody tells me I have to go play for. And that makes their rivalry with Toronto even better. Now the Blue Jays and the Yankees games, there's something there because before there really wasn't. No offense to Bo Bichette or Alek Manoah or Robbie Ray or any of the Toronto Blue Jays, but no, you were not a threat to the New York Yankees. Now they might look at you differently because now they want revenge. The Yankees want to prove that they're better than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That makes for compelling TV.
I think we're coming into an age, which is great. We're coming into really like our generation starting to own the leagues and stuff like that, starting to be the big time veterans in the leagues. How old's LeBron? Is LeBron in our generation?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he is.
pretty sure.
LeBron, pretty sure Tom Brady is too. I don't know how old is the next one above us. I think they're 50 or 60 because not the baby boomers, but anyway,
LeBron is 38 years old.
Yeah, so he's definitely in our generation. So like we're part of this generation now where it used to be exactly like you just said. Like you got into Major League Baseball, and if you didn't win a World Series, well, at least you played for the Yankees. Like, and that was like the goal, and like that's just not the goal. The goals in all leagues are starting to like shift. It's not to all play for the same team and stuff like that. There's plenty of people out there. It's not Jose Ramirez who said, hey, I'll take a pay cut. I want to play with this team. It's really rare in baseball. So
You were talking
Glad to
about the
say that.
times that you were talking about the times of changing. Madison Bumgarner designated for assignment 0-3 this season with a 10.26 ERA in 4 starts, 16 and 2/3, had 10 strikeouts. It does seem like it's the end of the line for the last generation of pitchers and players, and we've got a new exciting group of players coming in.
Oh yeah, look at because Scherzer, he doesn't even really do that well anymore either. Like that crazy good. Bumgarner, Verlander's just hurt. He doesn't even freaking play. I'm trying to think. What's his face? Who's you're gonna get mad at me. Who's your
Scherzer's
favorite
2-1. Scherzer's
Who's your
2-1
favorite?
with a 3.72 ERA.
Who's your favorite pitcher that just retired? The closing Yankee.
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah. I know that was a couple years ago, but I'm trying to think who else. Wainwright.
He's
All
on
these
his final season.
yeah, all these people that have been staples in baseball pitching. They're it's
Even
about
Miguel
over with.
Cabrera. You could throw him in there since this is his
Well,
final season.
Pujols. There's another big. There's really not actually. The more I think about it,
McCutcheon.
it's really there's a handful, but we're really turning the next page here. The same goes for basketball. Like, if you look at all the stars that are out there right now, like with Tatum and Booker and Trey Young, and all the older names are starting. They're on their last leg. LeBron, KD, Curry's still got a little bit. I think Curry's a little bit younger than them. I think might be just turning like 30. He might be like 35, something like that. But they're all, you know what I mean? It's next man up. Kyrie, Kawhi, they're all old now. Paul George.
Durant is 34 years old.
I knew Durant was younger than LeBron, but I'm just saying, like between all the new superstars, like Joker, all of them, like it's just a time for a new wave of superstars, and it's fun to watch.
Thoughts on the Las Vegas A's, and that is official that if the A's move, which they kind of have to now because they have bought the land in Las Vegas, they will keep the name the Athletics.
Really?
Yes, that is a
That is an
guarantee.
ugly ass name. The Las Vegas Athletics. That's ugly. LVA? Damn, they could do something so much better.
From their owner, we've been around since 1901, charter member of the American League, the Athletics. We've already been in 3 markets. We feel strongly that the A's are such a powerful brand. It's something we're going to continue with, the Las Vegas A's.
He's definitely right. I could have always named the A's before I could tell you every other baseball team.
Well, there is an interesting wrinkle in all of this because the A's lease on the Oakland Coliseum is up after 2024. The stadium in Las Vegas isn't even going to potentially open till 2027.
Yeah, they were talking. Someone was telling me about that. What the hell were they saying?
There's discussion that they may have to use the AAA ballpark of the Las Vegas Aces starting in 2025, which would look even worse than what the Oakland Coliseum looks like. By the way, the Oakland A's
build it now.
The Oakland A's are the worst team in baseball with a 182 winning percentage. It is abysmal how bad they are.
Yeah, they're terrible. I follow their Twitter, and every day, dude, it's all they do is post the final score. The other day they lost like 12-5 or something like that.
They've had some tough. And look, as Clevelanders, we can sympathize with the Oakland fan base. Not only losing your baseball team, but you also lost your football team. This sucks for Oakland, and for all the Oakland fans who are looking for a team to cheer for, Cleveland's got some great baseball players, and we have a football team. Just saying, if you want to get back at the Las Vegas teams that are wronging you, maybe pump some money into the great city on the lake.
Yes, as the Columbus Blue Jackets are scorching the Las Vegas Knights right now.
That's the Colorado Avalanche.
Huh?
That's the Colorado Avalanche.
What does Colorado have to do with this? My point was that the Blue Jackets aren't in the playoffs and the Golden Knights are.
Yes. And so are the Colorado Avalanche. I thought you were looking at the COL and seeing Columbus.
Oh no. I know we're not in the playoffs.
No,
Although the
no.
Guardians would beat the A's. I don't know if the Browns would beat the Raiders. In fact, I'm pretty sure the Raiders beat the Browns this year.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't remember. I haven't paid attention to the Browns.
So we have just a little bit more time here before we get out of here. But
My back is killing me.
talking a little bit about the Browns, NFL draft is coming up this Thursday, this entire weekend, actually. I believe that's in Kansas City. Brown Stadium is back. It's not First Energy Stadium, it's Cleveland Brown Stadium as part of a huge announcement of $1 billion
Would you
of renovations by the
idiots
Haslam.
stop thinking that we're going to leave it named the Cleveland Browns Stadium?
Oh, I know we're not,
Please.
but we can use it as long as we can.
Not you. I'm referring to everybody else who's talking about they're so happy that it's going to be called. Like, don't get excited about that, you dinguses. It's going to be like, it's not going to be very much longer before it's sponsored or whatever have you.
Oh, 100%.
They're paying for the
$1 billion. There will not be any taxpayer money on this renovation, which is interesting because technically the taxpayers of Cleveland own that building.
Hey, my battery's sufficiently charged.
And you may have heard the rumor of Browns potentially having to play in Columbus while that is happening.
Yeah, I did hear something about that.
The Haslams have come out and said no. The Browns will not play in Columbus. They will not play anywhere else. Somehow, we're going to play in the middle of the stadium as it's being rebuilt. And then
Cool.
the worst possible news of all
is
no
we're not getting a
retractable
dome.
Roof, no dome,
I knew you were going to say
no
that.
nothing. This piece of garbage stadium is going to be rebuilt as another piece of garbage that we can use 9 to 11 times a year for football. Build a damn dome. Use that land for something valuable because the Browns ain't it.
As much as I would love to disagree with you because I don't like domes, you're right.
At the very worst,
Because not only that, but we could have gone to monster trucks here in Cleveland.
Oh my God.
Instead of I'm being serious. No, but I'm being serious.
They're actually going to have monster trucks up there in July.
In July.
Yeah.
Trying to support you know what? You're wrong.
Well, I was glad we don't have a dome. Look, I was going to get to the things like NCAA Final Fours. You can host those. You can host major indoor venues and events.
Nope. I'm glad we don't have a dome.
We could have had a SummerSlam here.
Nope. I try to be on your side. Nope. I'm glad we don't have a dome.
The wrong direction with it.
No, I did it. That was the exact direction I was trying to go with it. We couldn't have gone there 2 months ago when it was snowing. Why, Paul? Because there wasn't a freaking dome. That was my whole point.
But they're still going to have Monster Jam there. That's the problem.
They can still have all that stuff you just named there, with the exception of basketball, unless you want to just have a summer league.
You don't have the NCAA Final Four in the summer. It's a March Madness for a reason.
No one's going to show up to that anyway. It would go to Columbus. Why would that be in Cleveland?
Because Cleveland is a more dynamic city than Columbus.
No, because Cleveland State isn't going to make it to the Final Four. So no.
No, but they host it. It's the way it goes. Because Indianapolis has one.
Indianapolis has one because the University of Indiana is actually going to be in contention. They're actually a decent school.
I don't think Ford Field's ever hosted March Madness, now that I think about it. But the point is, you can have more events in a domed stadium than you can in a winter climate garbage stadium, which is what Brown Stadium kind of is.
Well, they just need to host more hockey events and open up an ice rink for the public.
You know what? I can't even say anything about that because I was at the hockey game for the Monsters and the Penguins, and the fact that it was too hot out and that melted the ice enough that we couldn't play until night is annoying as hell. It would have been wonderful to have had that game at 1 o'clock, like we were planning, under a dome.
Yeah, well, can't change it. What are you going to do?
Not to mention, the Haslams seem hell bent on rebuilding and renovating the lakefront. Why? It's the worst possible place to put anything in Cleveland. Has nobody heard of erosion?
No, but lakefront property is the best. Everyone wants to look at it.
Until it falls into the fucking lake.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying everything else down there.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. I will tell you, I've been watching the NHL playoffs and enjoying it. Obviously, you have not because you're not a hockey fan.
Go Wild.
Somehow you knew that one.
I
And
know the
you're
Leafs
also,
have been beating the Lightning's ass.
I was just about to say, somehow you became a Leafs fan. Of all the teams you could have chosen in the NHL, you chose the most cursed team in the league.
No, I'm not a Maple Leafs fan. I'm just against Tampa Bay.
Would you
I don't
like to
like-
explain why
I don't
you're
like
against
Flo-
Tampa Bay
I don't like Florida teams.
at all?
Also, fuck Kevin. Not this Kevin. A different Kevin.
The greatest
Drop my
thing is I
scorecard.
know he doesn't watch all the way through. He skims. So I'm hoping he gets to that point and that's what he sees.
I'm sure
That
he'll
would be
see that part.
fantastic. That would be fantastic. Oh my God.
Kevo.
On the wrestling side of things, SummerSlam is going to be at Ford Field, and tickets are just a bit expensive, wouldn't you say there, Jay?
Yeah, they always are.
Apparently, they sold 32,000 tickets on their first official day of on sale, which is the most of any stadium event that isn't WrestleMania.
Fake.
Hopefully, the WWE draft, which is coming up shortly, will make for an exciting SummerSlam card, but God knows we've struggled there. SummerSlam has not always hit a home run, let's be honest. But there's definitely a little bit of time to determine what's going to happen in Detroit at Ford Field on Saturday, August the 5th. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's right. Might not be. Who knows? Is there any chance we get to go to SummerSlam?
I don't know.
AEW is bringing back CM Punk again. Sorta. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
They are doing a brand new show on Saturday nights called Collision, the debut of which is scheduled to be Saturday, June the 17th in Chicago. And this is going to work as a soft brand split for All Elite Wrestling. You may recall CM Punk on the outs with AEW after the events of All Out, where he won the AEW World Championship from Jon Moxley in Chicago. But a altercation backstage between himself and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega led to all of them, who were champions at the time, being stripped of their championships. Punk has not been seen on AEW TV since. In fact, he's been persona non grata. You can't even mention his name anymore. The Elite have returned. They are former two-time trios champions. I'm a CM Punk fan, so I'm not unbiased on this. I will admit to that. But if the rumor is true that AEW gets roughly $1 million from Warner Brothers Discovery per broadcast of AEW Dynamite. And they're going to get that same amount, presumably, for the new show Collision. That means CM Punk is worth $52 million a year. You can't turn that down, right?
Who, him?
AEW. Like, they were ready to cut ties with CM Punk, but instead he could be potentially making them $52 million a year.
Well,
So you
it's
kinda
not CM Punk.
Well, this show didn't exist until CM Punk popped up in everybody's subconscious again.
I don't think it's CM Punk. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, none of them have really made me care about wrestling at all in the past year. So I think wrestling's really on a scary downward hill. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess. I don't know.
Maybe it's the fact that you haven't been to an indie wrestling show. I just went to an indie wrestling show. Neo Pro Wrestling had their preview show, I think is the best way to put it, at the Hartsville Comic Con, I think it was, just this past Saturday morning. It was a lively crowd, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of guys that I knew, a lot of guys that I didn't know. Neo Pro Wrestling has their first show officially this coming Saturday, the 29th, at the Stark County Fairgrounds. Tickets are available for general admission. Check out their social media for that. And of course, our friends at the Pile Driver podcast can go into greater detail, give you a preview of each one of those matches and all that. But I got to tell you, man, there was something about this Neo Pro show that I really think you would have dug the vibe. It was very interactive, very energetic. And even though they had some technical difficulties with their sound system, everything still was pretty solid.
Sounds pretty cool.
I think you would like Neo Pro, and I think if you get a chance to, you should check out their first show.
Maybe we can.
Anything's possible. Also, as everybody knows, I'm the voice of Ohio Championship Wrestling. Our next show is Saturday, May the 20-something. I should probably check that before I said that. It's Memorial Day weekend. Let's go with that. It's the Saturday of Memorial Day at Kim Tam Park at Melanie Springs. Yeah, I know. I think it's May 27th. I wasn't intentionally planning to do that today. We have a few weeks before that show, so
I don't have a calendar sitting around.
I know you don't. But it is our biggest show of the year. Tradition, 20 years of Ohio Championship Wrestling. We have the Brass Ring Gauntlet. We have a fatal four-way tag team championship matchup, which seems like it's just going to be an all-out chaotic brawl all over the lake and beach and all that. Lord knows where that could all end up. I mean, you've got 8 guys that are going to be fighting at once. This is going to be crazy. Huge night of action. A lot of people haven't noticed this, but I did, and I don't think even our Pile Driver boys have noticed this. So there's going to be a match between Chuck the Truck Morris and Derek Dillinger for the Ohio Heritage Championship, and Chuck gets to pick the stipulation. It looks like, because I've been paying attention to the card as it gets announced, they keep mentioning a toe strap match. If this is what I think it is going to be a very violent match. And that alone is worth the price of admission. Plus, we have our main event.
I love violence.
I do love violence. I love wrestling. And I love indie wrestling. It is becoming a hell of a lot of fun to be a fan of indie wrestling. And our main event has been 2 years in the making. It's the OCW heavyweight champion, the Guiding Light, Matthew Taylor, defending against his former protege, Lord Thomas the Brute.
Lord Thomas the Brute.
Yes, and it feels like that moment where the Brute is going to ascend to the heavens as champion. But if anybody can stop him, it's the person who taught him a lot, and that is Matthew Taylor. All of that and so much more. Check out ocwrestling.net. or OC Wrestling online through various social media platforms for more information, including on-sale ticket information. And don't miss out, because it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to be recording and broadcasting for Believe Live Media LLC, and you never know what could happen when you're there live. And so, with that, Jay, do you have anything else you would like to tell the great people?
Did you hear me?
No.
Did you hear me? I said Jimmy Shane's winning the brass ring.
He's not in the match. He's actually in the tag team title
What?
match. Actually, if anybody is
he
odds-on
posted,
favorite,
he posted something
anybody
about winning that, so I didn't know that.
well, he was in a qualifying match at our last show, Never Back Down, but failed to secure the victory over Brandon Fields. If there's anybody in the field for the brass ring gauntlet that is the favorite, it's actually Jake Ely, the Thunderbird. It's the only thing that he's not won in Ohio Championship Wrestling. If he can secure the brass ring, if he wins that match, he will become only the second Grand Slam champion in the 20-year history of OCW. No, actually, Matthew Taylor.
Oh, really? Okay. What doesn't Jimmy Shane have?
That's the thing that makes it more interesting, because he has never won the OCW Tag Team Championship.
The Tag Team Championships, okay.
If Jimmy Shane wins the Tag Team Championship with his partner from the Winners, the show Robbie Starr, he will become a Grand Slam champion. And it's really just a matter of which match goes on first. Potentially, if that tag team title match goes on first and Jimmy secures the victory, he would beat Jake to the number 2 spot on the list of Grand Slam champions in OCW history, which would give Jake something to whine about.
That's funny.
I'm curious to see how the card comes out. And I'm excited. It's May 27th at Kim Tam Park at Melanie Springs. Tradition, 20 years of Ohio Championship Wrestling. All right. With that, I think we have run out of time here for the night. For Jay, I am Paul. Thanks again for joining us. This
Peace.
is Double Play CLE.